It is often a man who denies providence, like Moses, a morally wayward individual like David, or someone like Solomon, who just prayed for wisdom and received that and God's word. It seems like an alien idea in today's world, to receive the word of God and then try to avoid the importance and prestige that comes with it. But maybe there are prophets that we have today, and maybe they just don't know it, and maybe one of them is Kurt Sutter. The son of an auto plant worker and clerical employee of the Newark Archdiocese, Sutter did not come from elite overproduction or Hollywood nepotism. He excelled in his classes at Northwestern and impressed people with his work ethic and brash attitude. He matriculated onto the staff of The Shield and even played an Armenian hitman during the show's exhilarating Money Train storyline. Sutter isn't a know-it-all conservative freak like Joel Surnow, nor is he a lecturing, smug liberal like Ken Olin. He is dour like David Chase, and he is not mysterious or tragic as David Milch is. He is his own man, and resembles his viewers more than any other major showrunners. He struggled with addiction. He maintains the colorfully worded personal blog. He goes off on profanity-laced tirades against critics. He achieved the dreams of many fans of the small screen by wedding Katie Siegel. But for our purpose, he is a prophet of American culture. Sons of Anarchy is a complete and accurate distillation, not just of America's imperial arc from ascension to decline, but also our founding sins, our idiosyncrasies, and our good sides too. There's not much left to say in this intro that I would not rather talk about with Matt, so let's get started. So I had a lot of fun watching this. I watched this when it was on originally, and I think I might have actually had a little bit more fun watching it this time. And the first thing that really struck out at me, because I watched a lot of the first few seasons, and then I caught some of the tail end, the conclusion of the storyline where it gets very confusing. I really loved the look of it.
Yeah, it's got this kind of grainy, almost 70s feel, like oversaturated, which is very unlike, and that to me is like the FX sheen compared to like the muted AMC, more like self-consciously prestige sheen.
Yeah, AMC, you get a lot of pastels and a clear but muted view. But Sons of Anarchy particularly, like, I don't just love how like the filming looks and everything, but I love the look of the setting, the characters, the individual choices they make with how they aesthetize the characters. Like, this is a very important plot point in the first part of the show. Do you remember the storyline where Jax, they're coming back from some idiotic gun deal, and they see a hot woman and her boyfriend, and the boyfriend is being a jerk to her, and they like beat the guy up, and Jax fucks her later.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like a boss.
Yeah. Which is just, I mean, that's like the message. That is, if I could encapsulate what the show creators want you to think of the Sons, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the morality of that world. But the way they do this, where it's like you see Jax's white Keds and big jeans, and her going to Jax's like shitty like 1-bedroom ranch home, and him just busting in her, and then getting up at dusk to ride his motorcycle to like sleep in his shitty clubhouse. Like that was so well done. Like they got this idea of sort of like downwardly mobile middle class white America, the look of it so well.
Yeah, and the aspirations, which boil down to owning some dude, fucking his girl, and then going to your job, which is hanging out with your friends.
That is the dream. And where he goes to hang out, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's the worst organized crime clubhouse in human history.
If you compare it to like the Bada Bing or Satrials from Sopranos, another show that's about guys hanging out with their friends, but like the upwardly mobile middle class version of that. Like the college track, the wine track, as opposed to the beer track Sons. It's like slab floors and like corrugated metal walls and a fucking wet bar that's just like a sad island in one corner. And it's just, a bunch of like just disgusting looking middle-aged men hanging around with just women who do not want to be there.
Yeah, no, I love how they make the characters look. I love the look of the characters. Like, you have there's one handsome son, and it's Jax Teller.
And that makes sense. The leader, how do you know that he should be like, well, how do you know that he's the true leader of the Sons? Look at him.
Yeah, he's hot. No one else is hot.
Yep.
But, you have like the epic, like what everyone aspires to economically, which is Clay Morrow.
Yes.
Because he's the only guy who makes about over $80,000 a year that they even know, I think.
Yeah.
And he has like the epic divorce old guy look. Tig Traeger, like they have the look of the older guy who maybe he has some residuals from crimes past that actually made money, unlike the younger guys. Bobby Elvis, who's just repulsive.
He looks like a hobo.
Terrible. And we're also going to get into what Bobby Elvis represents. But the look of the guys and how the clubhouse isn't even comfortable.
No.
Like Satriale's was the lower rung of hangouts for the Sopranos. Like Bada Bing was better to hang out in, but it was still like comfortable.
Yeah, they had like nice chairs and shit. They're all just like tottering on bar stools.
Yeah, but and like they do actually have to, like, Satriale's and the Bing, they worked as businesses and front businesses, but I get the sense that the Sons actually have to do auto repairs at Teller Morrow to make ends meet.
Yeah, no, he's fucking doing transmission replacements and shit while orchestrating these giant gun deals that net him an additional $100 a month.
Yeah, exactly. Like they could have given away everything at Satriale's for free, and Tony wouldn't have to have made any adjustments.
No, you never had a scene where like Tony's like, "What's the matter with you? This is a family," and then there's like a buzzer. It's like, "I got to go cut some of the prosciutto."
Yeah. He would never have to do that. He was not depending on that at all.
Yeah,
it was just like a cool place that also had a deli attached.
Yeah,
the best shows, just like as far as their depiction of American life, get the look of people down. The Sopranos did this. You're not left wondering like what type of guy they're supposed to be.
Oh yeah, we know the guy.
Yeah. And I love, the same is true of Charming, the town of Charming. Like, it is one of the most hopeless places I've ever seen depicted in
Absolute.
fiction.
Just this awful downtown Main Street. Just it looks like a town where like whatever business used to be there, whatever industry just blew up and drove away. Like it's a perfect gutted, like on its way to being a post-industrial ghost town.
Absolutely. Charming is one of the most depressing places I've ever seen depicted in fiction. And it is thoroughly a victim. It is first a victim of deindustrialization, then a victim of NAFTA, and then a victim of the only thing it has left, which are the Sons.
Yeah, who justify all their awful violence in terms of we're protecting the community. Yeah. We're protecting Charming from outside elements. It's like, really, because by having giant gunfights in the middle of town every 2 weeks that end up with like little kids eating bullets while they're eating ice cream.
Yeah, no, Charming has probably like 5,000 people that live there and 200 murders a month.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah, but wow, man, imagine what would happen if like some gentrification occurred. Can you imagine how horrible it would be if this gang was not just driving around in motorcycles at 90 miles an hour, firing shotguns two-handedly?
That's another, like, the Sons are always fighting against like some land developer trying to gentrify Charming, and it's like, would that be the worst thing that could happen?
I mean, the only thing you have, like your version of the Shriners or the Elks, are a bunch of gun dealing psychopaths.
Yeah. So the other thing that I noticed, and I want to compare this a bit to 24, which we last watched, because I think this show and 24, it's two people recounting the same event.
Mm-hmm.
It's two people recounting the event of what happens between 9/11 and kind of now. And 24 is the dishonest version. And you can tell it is written by a liar and performed by liars, because like all stories that a liar tells, the characterization is flat.
Yeah.
None of the characters mean or say or represent anything. They're just bland canvases on which you can paint the actions of the protagonist, which is Jack Bauer, which is the liar telling the story.
Yeah. What he thinks he would have done in a bar fight.
Yeah. What was your wife doing? I don't know. She's a dumb bitch. What was your daughter doing? I don't know. Being a dumb bitch. What was your boss doing? I don't know. Who you're fighting? I don't know.
Yep.
Someone.
But what's important to know is that I kicked their fucking ass.
Yeah, I
electrocuted them with a fucking with a lamp, and I got the fucking location of the bomb out of him, and then I disarmed 6 guys barehandedly, and then shot another guy in the dick.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Sons of Anarchy is like, it's a pill addict who's honest to a fault. He's like, look, man, I tried. I tried, but I killed about half my friends. I didn't make any money. Everything's kind of worse now, actually. Can you look after my kids? I'm gonna die soon. Yeah. But the characters are, because you can tell it's an honest story, but the characters are true to life. They're bold, and even if they're stock characters, like even if it's like, oh, the badass, Scottish guy, or the pervert, or the whatever, it's like, at least there's something there. At least, like, when I'm watching it, I'm not depressed because of how fucking boring everyone is. Yeah, like they're like, they have gradients of like evil. Like you know which characters would do what crimes, which ones would like bat an eyelash, and which ones wouldn't and stuff, because you get a sense of like who they are as people, even if it's just from the sketch that you get, the stereotype. That is a great way to put it. Like they that Tig and Clay will do certain awful things even before they become like explicitly evil, or Clay does. And Jax won't do certain things. Like, when the sons are like, you need to kill this witness, Jax is just gonna like, pay for the witness to leave town. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. Like that's one of the things. Yeah, whereas Tig would have no problem just icing them. Yeah. But I do think there's something to take from that. And there's something to take from this overall series that I think, this is why I think Kurt Sutter is a prophet and a genius. Because I think if you draw a little bit into that, why are some characters able to go to incredible evil lengths and some characters are not? It's because Sons of Anarchy, even more than The Sopranos is just about one part of this. Sons of Anarchy is about the entire thing. Sons of Anarchy is about our ascension and collapse as an empire. Yes. Why can Clay do false flags? Why can he kill anyone? Why does he lie to everyone? Why is he a participant in the founding sins of this entire club? Because Clay represents capital and the Republican Party and the CIA, just like Tig does, unmasked evil. What is the character of Gemma, Katie Siegel? Katie Siegel is always trying to represent to Jax that she is trying to curtail the worst excesses of capital, that she's a negotiator between capital. She is the Democratic Party and the management of organized labor. We find out through John Teller, the father of Jax, his idiotic diaries, which are just nonsense. Absolute gibberish. They suck. Yeah. But the only important thing plot-wise in those diaries is, hey, my wife and my best friend kill me, and then they're going to fuck and get married. And so, yeah, we learned that she's not the Democratic Party, or, just the organized liberal elements and institutions are not curtailing influences so much as they are collaborators. Yep. Yeah, they're as responsible and as the evil and as invested in the evil outcome. Yes. But then, who do we have? We have Jax. And Jax represents the constant younger generations in America, and also through them, American culture. Yeah. He's just our white male id, just doofing it around at the end of the millennium. Exactly. Like no one should like it. He's an idiot. Absolute moron. He's an idiot. He's one of the most ineffective characters in the show. Yeah. Astounding. Like he can never, every plan he has collapses immediately. Every time he tries to do the right thing, it ends up making things worse. He's bad at being a bad guy too. Like, just fully incompetent. He's not good at anything. The first time we see him, he's in a shitty convenience store in Charming, and he's buying zigzags and, one of those weird cigarettes for downwardly mobile white people like Durrells or Basics, those bad tasting cigarettes. And he's having a kid soon that he doesn't seem to give a shit about.
Absolutely not.
And
with one of the porn girls at the porn industry that is part of the chart that the son's amazing crime array, which goes from guns to porn. And one of the porn stars is going to have his kid, and he's like, "Oh God, this chick's on my ass."
Yeah, and he's just like buying cigarettes and rolling paper and like some type of low IQ soda, like a word or something. Yeah, soda for people with brain damage. And the checkout girl slips a children's book into his bag, and he's like, "Duh." And it's not like, "Hey, you piece of shit, you're having a kid. What the fuck?" It's like, "Here you go, Jax. I'm so excited for you to have a kid. You're going to be a great mother."
Here's the stuff that you had no idea you were supposed to do. You're going to do great at it, though. I promise.
Yeah, it's like everyone's like, "Oh, Jax, you forgot about the kid you're having, who's going to have a lot of health issues. Here you go. We'll all help you. We all we're rooting for you, buddy."
Yeah. Nobody's like, "Hey, man, get your shit together." They're like, "Oh, that's our Jax."
Yeah. Oh, he forgot. So let's run down. So to run down some of Jax's, like, he is as cuckolded as the younger generation, and he's as ineffective as we are. Let's run some of them down. He gets that baby stolen by some Irish imbecile.
Absolute moron. Just some bog ape.
Yeah.
Involving a D plot, not even anything related to the main plot of the season.
Yeah. He accidentally starts a war with just every Chinese person he can find because a character that he knows to be completely dishonest and murderous in Gemma kills his beloved wife later on and is like, "Oh, some Chinese."
Yeah, it was China. Kind of like Trump. Yeah. It's China.
And he's from reading John Teller's thing, like he knows what type of person Gemma is. And he's like, "Gotcha, gonna kill every Chinese person. No way it was you."
No way my mom did this. My mom, who I basically know in my heart, helped kill my dad.
Incredible. But, Jax's incompetence and ineffectiveness, it's a great window into the world of Sons of Anarchy, and it's a great window into what I think is another brilliant metaphor in the show is John Teller's writings. They're the founding fathers.
Yep.
John Teller is George Washington because George Washington, like, if you tried to govern today based on his writings and his ideas, like, you wouldn't get anywhere, just like Jax doesn't get anywhere trying to run the club based on Teller's ideas. But Washington says one thing. And he says, "Do not get yourself entangled in foreign alliances."
Yes.
And everyone after that's like, "Got it. We worship you. We're going to name everything after you. You're our favorite guy." But also, we're mostly going to do that.
We love foreign alliances, actually. Entangling in them is our favorite thing. But we still love you, George. Promise.
Yeah. And the Sons, their business is America's business. It's arms deals.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They sell guns, just like us. Guns and pornography. Those are the black market version of arms and Hollywood, which is all we produce.
And I used to make fun of this plot point because it made no sense for the Sons of Anarchy to sell guns to the fucking IRA.
Yeah, seriously, it's like, does Kurt Sutter know about the fucking Good Friday Accords? Like, I know the IRA is still around, but I don't think they're stocking up like it's 1982.
Not just that. It's like, if they were going to America, why wouldn't they deal from the East Coast? Why would they deal with the most podunk biker gang in Northern California? Not even Los Angeles.
And like they had all these these ties with East Coast mob guys in the 80s to get guns. Why the hell are they going to NorCal?
There is nothing they can get there that they can't get on the East Coast. Or like, wouldn't they just get them from the Camorra, the Engradetta? Yeah. Like, these organizations, these crime organizations in Europe that make billions of dollars.
Yeah. Yeah, the antagonist got like, it's moving basically all of the cocaine into fucking Europe. I think they could get you some guns.
They could get them into F-16 if they want.
Yeah.
And they're like, "No, who's the most low IQ biker on the other side of the ocean?"
Yeah. But it's got to be that way because they're America. And they got to sell guns because that's all we do. That's all we sell.
Yeah. I used to hate that part, but it makes total sense. It's like the IRA buying guns for them is equivalent. Like, why would we outfit everything that the Saudi Arabian military needs? And like our alliance, our arms deals and alliances with the Saudi Arabians, it comes to bite us back in a confusing and convoluted way. As convoluted and confusing and dumb as the IRA just taking your baby boy.
Yep. Yep. That's like 9/11 right there.
Yeah. Because everyone in Charming and outside of Charming and in the criminal world and in the civilian world, like, they should hate dealing with the Sons.
Oh God. Yeah. Just, hey, go see the big dumb assholes in their disgusting garage.
Yeah. These assortment of murderers and sex criminals who they just cause violence and mayhem and crime, and the one thing they do for you every year is throw some shitty carnival.
Yeah.
Like, they should hate them. It's like, hey, why are there automatic weapons everywhere in a small town?
Yeah, why are there giant running gunfights in the middle of the town square every Thursday?
Yeah.
How about every time I go on the highway, there's like a 50% chance that I'm going to see a guy in a motorcycle like throw a fucking propane tank into the back of a truck and shoot it with a shotgun.
But people love Jax.
They love him.
Yeah.
They love us.
People can't get enough American culture.
They can't. And that's the thing. And that leads back to what you said. Like, what is their main thing? Selling guns. And America is the Vulcan of the world. We're the forge of empires, literally.
And what else? What's the other thing of entertainment they do? Bobby Elvis.
Yes. Oh my God.
They can't.
Oh my God. Yes.
Nothing even original. He does an imitation.
No, our old, reskinning our like old IP, our cultural, like, because everything's now we're not even selling the like American culture. We're selling copies of it. We're selling reboots and like sequels and just this reference to, because like as much as we think of the superhero genre as new, these things were all created in the same forge of post-war excess that gave us American culture writ large, including guys like Elvis Presley.
Yes, and it's just like, hey, remember this? The guy wearing the skin, guy wearing the outfit is like a fat murderer who sucks.
Fat, meth-addicted piece of shit human.
Yeah, a guy who
looks like a hobo.
A guy who like betrays his best friend who's in prison. Gets his dick sucked by her while working at her porno company and basically gets her killed.
Yeah. Oh God, they get so many people killed. Yeah. He just absolutely without a second of any even introspection, just like, oh damn, like, my bad. Not even a my bad.
Yeah. Elvis already like a photocopy of Black entertainers. This is a photocopy of a photocopy who doesn't even have any. At no point had Elvis's like sex appeal or talent.
Nope. He's like not even fat Elvis. He's dead Elvis.
Yeah, just awful. And people are like, "Oh, I love it when Bobby Elvis pretends to be Elvis."
They can't get enough of it. Yeah. We need to get him to the Shriners convention.
Yeah. This is a genius show.
The idea of having a porno industry in Northern California, like in the woods.
Yeah.
Like the woods of Northern California has like a thriving porno industry. Not like, and I mean, obviously now that's all absurd because everything's been decentralized into like camming and everything. But just the idea that there was like a second Chatsworth in the Northern California woods, like next to the redwoods, is very humorous to me.
Yeah.
Just because he wanted it. He wanted that element of it. He wanted babes in bikinis and chicks that the guys could like get romantically realistic. Because I think he kind of thought, oh shit, well they have to have women, but like what kind of women hang around outlaw bikers? Well, not women who are gainfully employed for the most part. So how can they meet women? Well, prostitutes generally, but prostitution, that's like antisocial the same way drug dealing would be.
Yeah.
And that's not something the Sons would do. What about porno? Which is sort of like prostitution, but has a legal veneer and is like considered less socially insidious. And then boom, there you go. And now you've got a bunch of women that the Sons can interact with.
Yeah, and it makes it so, oh, this isn't exploitative. It's like Sutter's accidental genius. he went out to create. Clearly, you see his intention. Like, he wanted to create a criminal element that he thought was a good contributing member of society.
Yep.
But in his limited imagination, and by extension, the limited imagination of America, he created the American economy, the American empire, American culture, and like everything they do is kind of a detriment to everyone around them.
Yeah, because that's where there's a certain sort of artistic genius where your genius is your blind spot. Like the way it, like, because Sutter's able to, he's generating this idea, like you said, of like, what would good crime look like? What would noble outlawry in America look like? But because he is so bound by American concepts and unaware of them, he just reproduces it. Yeah,
this is such a better picture of America than 24 could ever be.
Oh, absolutely.
Because 24, like, even portraying like the scary deep state and the existential threat of terrorism, it's like there's a level of like competence and pureness of intent, both in good and evil, that doesn't exist in America at all.
And competence, let's not forget competence. Like CTU and Jack Bauer have a degree of competence that you cannot input to any American thing, whether it's pursuit of the war on terror or just domestically dealing with something like the fucking coronavirus. We are without competence. We are not Jack Bauer. Like when you think of the stuff that Jack Bauer and CTU thwarted, the fucking like terror attacks and nukes and biological weapons and fucking false flag attacks and presidential assassinations. Can you imagine if the fucking Sons of Anarchy and Jax Teller were made to go up against anything like that? How quickly they would be just murdered?
Yeah.
Just annihilated.
Yeah. But the Sons of Anarchy that's what everything, that's like, Sons of Anarchy is a closer imitation of the activities of the deep state, of the empire, of the country.
Absolutely.
It is like what you said about Jax. And our overall analysis of Jackson, he is a bungler, that he is an idiot, he's an oaf, but he also, like, he has what he thinks are good intentions.
Yes, exactly. And that's what we all have. All these Americans, like Graham Greene got our number in the Quiet American. It's just having your head be completely empty, and just not having any combination of, like, lived experience or trauma to inform life. And you just are like, I want what's good. But what's that? How would you ever find out in this country?
Your only frame of reference are like, it's your awful mom, this idiotic thing you grew up in. And then
the culture that you find yourself suffused in, which is empty and solipsistic and nihilistic, honestly.
You try to go back to the past and it's just nonsense.
Yeah.
It's crap. You think that's the only countervailing argument to what you have and have always had. But what it actually is fucking bullshit. It's like this brain-curdled post-enlightenment thinking, this crap, either John Teller's Motorcycle Diaries or a worship of the founding intent of this country.
Yeah.
This is... I want to talk a little bit about, like, the actual show part. Because it is not totally enjoyable in some spaces. Like if you watch, did you watch any of the later seasons for this?
Yeah. I mean, the last one, I watched that one.
It's very difficult to follow those last.
Oh God, they get so complicated. It's like when fucking Danny Trejo shows up and he's a cartel guy, but then you find out he's in the CIA.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It's so stupid, but it's not even like. Like, I think the Shield got this bet right more than anyone, which was another, like, Sutter associated link, as we talked about, where it was like they would come up to that point of someone being a triple agent or multiple plot threads converging in one confusing way, but they would pull back just enough so it wouldn't overwhelm you. But Sons of Anarchy, I always feel like those later seasons plots, it's like they were working in the same document for what the season arc should be and didn't erase when they thought of a new idea. They weren't like, you do this thing when you work on things where you're like, oh, okay, I don't like the original premise for this. Let me start over. But they're like, no, just add on to that.
Yep. Just, and then. Yeah. Improv rules, baby. Just pile on the pasta. And just I loved also just the expanding circle of ethnically based motorcycle gangs.
yeah. There is something for everyone towards the end.
Yep.
But I think the highest point of the show, though, and it's the season that the end of the season, as you alluded to, it portends for what the show became and would become. Just this horrifying, like cringy, convoluted mess. But I thought season 2 was amazing.
Season 2 is definitely its best. I'd say that's Justified is the same. I feel like those two shows nailed their second seasons and never really got better, but were kind of apotheosis there. Except, of course, as I said, for the really frustrating, awful ending with just that Scooby-Doo bullshit with the kid, just letting Adam Arkin fly away. It's like, what is this? I'm here. I've got my popcorn. What are you doing? But everything, it's great. And one thing that's so awesome about it is that it's part of that subconscious desire of Sutter to make like this ideal criminal enterprise that he's also subconsciously turning into the United States of America, is that he has to contrast it with something worse. Like, yes, they're a bunch of technically white separatist motorcycle gang guys, because motorcycle gangs are racially segregated and it wouldn't be realistic if they weren't, but they're not Nazis. And so the bad guys are these Nazis who want to basically do like a free state project in Charming. That's
what season 2 is. World War II.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. It's like, okay, what would be worse than this abomination? Oh, the Nazis.
Yep.
But
then beating them is like what justifies the son's position in Charming.
Yeah. And okay, like I do hate what they did with Adam Arkin flying away. But I thought that's sort of like Project Paperclip.
You're right. That's like the Project Paperclip. Yeah. God damn. I hadn't thought of it that way, but you're right. Shit. Hats off to the master. Damn it, Sutter.
Sutter is so fucking good. He's so good.
Retroactively owned me. Well done, sir. Because at that time I was not nearly as keyed into this. It was just a fun show. But looking back on it, there's no other way it could have ended.
Yeah.
He's Reinhard Gellen and fucking Otto Skorzeny.
Yeah. He's Klaus Barbie flying away to new adventures. And that season is great because like the Adam Arkin and Henry Rollins are both awesome. They play sort of the upper management of the white supremacist gang. And it's so fun because it doesn't do like a lesser author would have like explicitly drawn this equivalency between the Sons and the white supremacists.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the joke here, or the subconscious joke that I don't think Sutter is aware he's making, like you said, this group that later on has this whole problem about one of their members being half black, like an existential crisis.
Oh yeah, it creates this like he's like a fucking Dostoevsky hero, just tormented, driven across the land by his worry that they're going to find out that he's half black.
Oh my God, I just realized something. That character's name is Juice.
Yep.
Jews. What is the theme of the Jew in classic European literature?
He
knows he's an outsider. No one else is quite sure.
Yes.
And it drives him insane and leads to his demise.
Oh my God, you're right. And it makes him turn against the society that he's part of because of his divided loyalty and his dual face, his dual self. Yeah. Shit, you're right. And of course, patching in Michael Beach at the end of the show. That's the Civil Rights Act.
Yeah, that's like, okay, you finally have a buy-in to this thing.
Yep.
Right as we're about to start our huge downswing.
Yep. Jax. Yeah, hey, you get to join just as Jax is eating the fender of a fucking 18-wheeler.
Right as this country, like, right as, like, we're committing suicide. Like, hey, you're equals, I guess.
Yeah, hey, congratulations. This is going to be great when the FBI immediately shows up and arrests everyone.
Exactly.
You're going to get to be the guy who goes to fucking ADX Florence.
Yeah.
And then you get fucking shanked to death by Aryan Brotherhood guys who don't know. They're like, no, wait a minute. No, I'm patched in with, damn it.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is such a great show.
The levels are significant.
It's bad in so many ways, but great in so many. And like back to it being explicitly and intentionally good, like they don't draw that explicit false equivalence between the Sons and the Nazis. They make the Nazis so bad, unambiguously awful and evil in such a like dramatically fun way, where they're just unambiguously no positive qualities and very entertainingly evil. Like Adam Arkin, both as a sort of land developer businessman and as an active white supremacist, is such a good, awful character who has some daughter that he has some weird, unstated sexual psychosis with. Henry Rollins is amazing as a brutal rapist, Nazi enforcer. His death scene in the season is one of my favorite scenes of Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I thought that was sort of an allusion to either the Ostfront or Hitler killing himself and the Nazi high command killing themselves.
Yeah, like the stoicness, like the eating the lead.
Yeah, like, okay, fuck it, we lost. I know I did all this bad shit.
Yeah, I did everything I could, but oh well. And then that part of the state that was like more clever or frankly less committed to the cause was able to opportunistically slip away.
Yeah, or later like reinvest themselves with the empire that just won that imperial struggle.
Yep.
I like another thing that I love, like as far as like straight up values of the show and straight up intentional values of the show, is the way that it portrays the DEA, the ATF and DEA.
Oh God, hell yeah!
Like amazing.
Yep, just complete psychotic, bureaucratic monsters, only caring about either their careers or personal grudges. It's definitely more accurate than like fucking Narcos, where they're all just trying to get those damn drugs off the streets.
Yes. So our first DEA agent that we get, it's in season 1. It's after I talked about that first scene that I talked about when Jax fucks the woman with the rude boyfriend. There's this agent, Josh Cohn, who I think is again like how Sons of Anarchy is the only doctor ever named Tara. They also have the only Jewish ATF agent.
Yeah. Oh no, the banging and the boinging. Oh,
I told you, tobacco gives me allergies. But he surreptitiously takes a picture of Jax getting done banging Susie and sends it to Tara, who he used to date. And then his entire arc is about him trying to send Jax to prison forever so he can get back with Tara, who he used to date.
Yep.
He ends up trying to rape Tara after stalking her. Unrealistically gets fired from the ATF.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, this would not happen. He would be promoted. But anyway, Tara kills him in self-defense. Jax fucks her, like, basically on top of his dead body. Like, awesome.
He's just too horned up. Yeah. You got to do it. You got to get it.
That scene, I love that scene because it's like, I don't know what else they would be trying to imply there except for, like, Jax is, like, just because of his founding values, he can't help but be as bad as everyone else. Yep. Like, in the same way that Clay and Gemma basically fucked over John Teller's dead body, he's doing the same act. Not, Josh Cohn was not as perfect a victim as John Teller, but it's the same, like, disregard for human life and just insane behavior that no normal person would. I mean, Jax, we talked about Clay. Jax does his fair share of false flags in this show.
Oh, yeah. He loves a good false flag.
When Unser, who's like, I don't really know who Unser represents in American mythos, but for those who aren't familiar, Unser is this like sort of poor, ugly cuck. Like, he's a cancer-ridden sheriff's deputy who's been in love with Gemma forever and actually helped set up John Teller.
I think he's supposed to be the white working class or something.
He's something like that. And
just like always just put upon and strung along and like manipulated and never gets ahead. Just a complete Eeyore.
Yeah.
And who is entrancing him? It's Jenna. It's Gemma.
Yes. Actually, yes. And he ends up dying for her.
Yes.
And doesn't even save her.
Yeah.
In the end, she still takes one in the back of the brain from Jax in the garden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when Unsler retires, and his deputy, who like correctly hates the Sons,
yeah,
David
everyone
Hale.
in that town should hate them.
Yeah, I love how they play this like, oh, this guy's a real stick in the mud. He doesn't like the guys who commit 300 murders a month.
He doesn't like the guys who had the fucking RPG fight in front of the middle school.
Yeah. Jax takes a dead body this is super important. One of the first dead bodies we see in the show are the dead bodies of the indigenous.
Yep.
Of Mexicans who were illegally smuggled by human traffickers and left to die. And the Sons are like, oh, that's kind of bad. And then they use the bodies as a false flag to say that the 1-9ers did it. So the chief goes after them instead of the Sons. It's perfect. They take the founding sin of the country, the founding sin of the TV show, and are like, oh, black people did it, so get off our back.
Yep. Divide and conquer.
Yeah. But, I mean, and Jax does this. Yeah, Jax is as bad a guy as anyone. But we were talking about DA agents. Agent Stahl, I think, like, because Agent Cohn's arc is short-lived and very simplistic. But Agent Stahl, what an amazing character.
Oh, yeah.
And this same actor,
Allie Walker.
Yes, Allie Walker. She was also on Nip Talk.
Oh, yes.
She had a great part on Nip Talk. Another one of the, we could just do this series entirely about FX shows.
I mean, they really are. It's the most interesting body of output of any of the prestige networks.
Yes. She plays a hypersexual, like pretty predatory, I would say. Sexually predatory, hyper ambitious careerist who has no regard for human life. And in fact, she gets Opie, who I think might also represent the white working class. He's Jax's friend, former member of the gang, who went straight, and Jax convinces him to get back into the gang, which, by the way,
very good idea for him.
It works out great. Destroys his life.
Yeah, great idea. Definitely listen to Jax.
Yeah, destroys his life. And one of the ways it destroys his life is Agent Stahl, like, basically convinces the Sons through bureaucratic machinations that Opie has turned state's evidence against the club. And so Tig and Clay, being that they're the harsh, naked side of capital and empire, are like, well, we have to kill Opie.
Yep. Oops.
They give Tig, who's like the sergeant at arms of the group, a Mac 10, so it will look like a 1-9er did it. And he sees Opie's truck in Charming driving down the main street, shoots through the back window shield, blows the driver's brains out. It's Opie's wife.
Oh, fuck!
Then, like, about 2 episodes later, they're like, oh, yeah, no, it wasn't him at all. And they're like, oh, whoops. And
shit. Never mind. Sorry.
They all go to Donna, Opie's wife's funeral. And Jax, instead of being like, oh, I like ruined my best friend's life, or like, oh, this thing I do is bad, he's like, he just drinks a plastic bottle of vodka in the graveyard all night.
That's what he's just got to think about how he fucked up.
Yeah.
God, sometimes I just feel like I can't do anything right.
Yeah, it's like, I like that scene because it's like he's definitely like feeling sorry for himself.
Nope, that's it. It's like, I can't believe I have to feel like that happened to me.
Yeah. But later in the next season after that, they kill Agent Stahl. Opie and Jax just murked. Blow her brains out in like a very gratifying scene. There are a lot of satisfying. That is one thing this show delivers on. They will build up a character as awful, and then they'll give the audience the treat of watching them die.
Yep. Oh, speaking of psycho fucking federal agents, let's not forget, dude, Donald Logue.
Donald Logue has an amazing arc as a DEA agent who he is the brother of a prison nurse that imprisoned member of the club, Otto Delaney, played by Kurt Sutter.
Yep.
Has killed and methodically tortures him throughout his arc. An amazing arc. not really narratively contributing to anything, I would say.
I just remember that he gets nude at one point, right?
Yeah, he gets naked. I mean, can we talk a little bit about the Otto Delaney arc?
Yeah. Oh God, that's a lot of Kurt Sutter psychology, I think, on display.
So Kurt Sutter plays a member of the Sons who's in prison at the start of the series, in federal prison. Otto Delaney. His character, there's not really too much characterization to him except like he loves his wife and he never wants to betray the gang. Throughout the course of the show, Bobby Elvis, one of the Sons, fucks his wife. He like basically gets tricked into betraying the gang. He is able to retract his confession, but that basically condemns him to federal prison for life. He's driven insane by grief of his wife dying, and he, just murders a prison nurse. Then throughout this course, he loses an eye. He gets AIDS.
Yeah, he gets mega raped.
Yeah, and it's like,
oh, he chews his own tongue out so that he doesn't have to testify against the Sons.
Yeah, there's which is like, I'm sure they could come up with something. I mean, I know it's symbolic, but like, I do have to say though, after season 3, there's really no narrative requirement for Otto to be there.
Yeah,
and so
just to absorb punishment.
All his scenes after that, the scenes of him getting gang raped, him getting AIDS, his eye going out, his tongue, they don't add anything to the overall plot.
Nope.
And I can't think of another example where the creator of the show demanded that this be done to him in his own show. And by the way, I want to point this out. This show, Sons of Anarchy, was very well received and had a lot of viewers. And Sutter was doing a lot of press. And during the first season, he said, "I'm going to write myself off at some point because it's like it's douchey for me to be running the show and then also to be a character." And then the character went on for like 5 seasons.
Yep, just getting body parts just slowly sawed off of him.
Yeah. Well, this was, I really loved watching the show. And I loved thinking about this. And Americans did too. This was a beloved show.
It was. It was like, it gave people the sort of narrative grandeur and character palette of a prestige show with like a real pulpy atmosphere and lots of badass violence. It really did feel like the perfect synthesis of like just genre fare and the new higher standard of TV production. Yeah,
Sutter in effect took a prestige veneer and added it to a pulpy FX show. He essentially he made the house that Clay Morrow lives in. That is like a shitty NorCal new construction house, but has like, bad fake cherry wood and fake marble. But he made a domicile that was very fun to relax in for 7 seasons. Even when it got confusing, even when in its true Grover House design, you took a spiral staircase to a dead end, as many of the plots were. Millions of people watch this. Millions of people did something that they don't do for other shows. They bought the merchandise.
Oh, did they ever?
Yes.
Because the Sons, as a fictional motorcycle gang, gave you, the viewer, a chance to participate visually in a way that wouldn't get you stomped out for wearing some other real gang's cut. Yeah,
people will wear Breaking Bad stuff, but that's different because Breaking Bad, like, if you're wearing Breaking Bad merchandise, you're like a Reddit guy.
Yes.
You're not, and Breaking Bad is a brilliant show, but it's also like, no real meth dealer is going to go after you for that. Sons of Anarchy, you're wearing that because you think they're cool.
Yeah, you think they're cool dudes. You think that you would like to be like them. They are you.
There's actually a really funny video, and I'm probably going to ask to have this audio put in, of a guy refueling his Toyota Camry.
This is a very good video.
Yeah, and he's wearing a Sons of Anarchy leather sleeveless vest like they wear in the show.
A cut, as it were.
Yeah, and an actual motorcycle guy is like, "What the fuck? Nice cut, man. Do you ride. A very pathetic video, but go to Wisconsin, go to Ohio. You'll still see people wearing the Reaper.
Oh, you will.
Yeah.
Riding through this world. This is, yeah. I really have trouble thinking of any other show that had this type of merchandise success. No. This is the show because like, yeah, if you wore you could buy, there's tons of Heisenberg related Breaking Bad merch, but it's all like ironic hipster thing of like winking, like the community. You're signaling yourself as a Breaking Bad viewer, the type of person culturally who does things like watch Breaking Bad. Wearing Sons of Anarchy merch was sending the signal, I would be in this. I'm a son. Yes. I am in the gang. I am not watching the gang. I am not self-consciously like presenting myself as someone who absorbs a entertainment. I am essentially cosplaying as someone in my real day-to-day life.
Yeah, I'm an outlaw.
Yeah.
I wonder this, and this is the question I want to close us out on. Do you think that the conservative obsession with bikers, you can trace it back to Sons of Anarchy?
1,000,000%, because they are the kind of criminal gang that guys like Milton Friedman idolized. Like the libertarian, like American notion of freedom that is now ascendant, it valorizes that sort of entrepreneurism. You're essentially taking a market inefficiency, the fact that there's illegal things in the economy when really everything should be legal, and they're making the most out of it, and they're carving out a piece of the American dream. And while they're doing it, who are they fighting? Mexicans, black guys, the Chinese, but they're also better than Nazis.
Yes.
So it's like it's normalizing and justifying.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with that. And the final piece I want to add to that, I think the role of the biker in conservative fantasy, it goes back to conservative meditations on race, where either through dog whistle or just explicitly saying it now, you believe that like all other races there's a level of like jungle savagery.
Yeah.
You're obsessed with like, the knockout game.
Oh, like, absolutely. Yeah. But BLM is coming to kill you.
Yeah. Like MS-13 rape gangs, like stuff like that. You're obsessed with it. But at the same time, you crave this sort of like unbridled masculinity. So the biker gang is the perfect container for that desire, because it's like you can do all that. Biker gangs, like any awful crime you can think of, bikers have done it. Yep. You could do all that, but it's under the cover of this like bullshit moral code. And most importantly, you make those jungle savages, you tell them, hey, we could do this too. Yep.
And then who else do you fuck with? Fucking pedophiles. One of the first things in the show is a guy asks a favor of the sons, a rich timber baron asks a favor of the sons, because they're integrated to the highest levels of Charming's like bourgeois. His daughter got molested by a carny, or like a circus clown or something.
It was a carny, yeah.
Oh yeah, and the sons to grease the deal, they find him and they get him off the fucking fairway and they cut his balls off. Yeah, they do a Facebook post.
They do and this is, I love this, because they tell the Baron, you have to cut his balls off, you have to kill him. And he can't do it. So the Clay does it. But because he did it with gloves on.
Yeah.
And because the only guy who touched the knife without gloves was the Baron, they used that to hold things over his head. Oh, man. But yeah, no, I to the original question, yeah, I think bikers for Trump, former Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner pretending to be a biker. It all goes back to Sons of Anarchy.
I agree completely.
This is
and like these guys, and the beauty part is because it's got such an affect. They can do, it's essentially a miniaturized version of like the way that the right specifically has made a project of draining actual like labor relations from definitions of class and making it all about cultural signaling.
Yes.
Like here you have motorcycle gang drained of all of its cultural associations of essentially like poor white trash who decide to sell meth, instead of working for a living, lumpen proletarians, basically. And you turn them into solid. This is like just, you get to be a solid citizen with a 401k, but also have all of the utterances of a badass rebel. And you get to imagine yourself as being a rebel, even though every time you show up to a rally or something, the first thing you do is thank all of the cops.
Yeah, and then like salute the president.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I think it's doubly amazing because when I think of real life bikers, I think of like rapists and like
monsters, the horrible people.
Some of the worst gangs are bikers.
And they're all connected to like terrifying networks of white supremacist prison gangs.
Yeah.
Like the Aryan Brotherhood and shit.
They're some of the most nihilistic criminals in the world of organized crime, and they're barely organized. But if you go on Facebook, you'll see all these made up, like, just bullshit where it's like, all these bikers signal that they're going to help regular citizens by killing pedophiles. And it's like, bikers probably make child porn.
Oh, absolutely. If there's $1 in it, some of them are doing it.
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
Come on, man. Like outlaw bikers.
Yeah.
But it's like, because it's a symbol of like necessary white savagery. Yeah. A dentist can buy this toy and pretend to be them.
Yes, absolutely.
And the president will thank you. Well, but like most Suns viewers, they don't know how close they are in their comparisons of themselves in the show.
Nope.
But in closing, Kurt Sutter is the greatest genius who's ever lived.
He is a visionary. He is a genius. There's no question about it. He is a bastard executioner.
Yes. Like, I would have loved to have seen that show go on because who knows what he comes up with that. But, yeah, like David Chase is the greatest chronicler of American decline. David Milch is probably the best chronicler of like American atomized yearning. But Kurt Sutter got the whole damn thing.
Yeah, because he could have because he's more of a pulp auteur, he can fire more scattershot, which means he catches all of it. Like it's all through a lens of like very pulpy, absurd, ridiculous narrative, but he catches all of the shades.
Yeah. Well, what a great fucking show. I'm proud. It's another show that I'm probably going to keep watching. I'm sad that our reportage on it is done, but thank you to everyone for joining. Thank you to Matt, and may the crow fly straight.